Hello and thank you for joining me. I'm Heather Forgan of stampwithnellie.com. I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator based in the UK. And today I've got another Festive Friday offering for you. This is a cute little box inspired by my friend Elaine Thompson-Smith. And Elaine made a red box with some Ferrero Rocher inside. You'll gather that mine does not have that inside because it's a bit too narrow. Instead, I've got some chocolate mints inside mine. So Elaine had used the long retired large alphabet dies. I've used alphabet a la mode, which you can still buy. And underneath there we've got some designer series paper as well, which comes from the same pack as I've used for the lid. And these are the packs that I've used. So in this one you get each of these three designs, those three designs, the leaves, this sort of geometric one and the stars, in both Night of Navy and Very Vanilla on there. So 6 sheets in that pack, and it is called Shining Brightly. And for my H's, I die cut from this pack of self-adhesive glimmer paper. This is an online exclusive, so you get one sheet of silver and one of gold. So that one's just available while stocks last, not in any of the catalogues. All right, so I'll need my primer, but I'll just put that to the side there for now. So, as I say, this was inspired by Elaine, but I had to redo all of the measurements because I was using different sweeties and different products. I did originally just try and make one piece to go in here, but it's a bit flimsy and I really didn't like it. So instead what I've got is 3 little boxes stuck in there, and I'll show you how to make that. I've already made 2, so I'll just show you how to make the other one. All of the measurements will be in my blog post. There's a link to that in the description for this video. Please check that out, and let's get on and make another one. So the base is Very Vanilla thick card, okay, and this piece is 7.5 inches by 3 1/4. I'm going to score that at 3/4 of an inch on all 4 sides. Okay, so I'm just lining that up the edge at 3/4 of an inch on that side, just because it's a little bit easier for me. And finally 3/4 on there. Okay. As I mentioned, for the little boxes that go inside, we've got 3. I've made 2, so you need 3 pieces that measure 2 15/16 of an inch. That's not easy to say. So basically just at one little mark shy of 3 inches on both sides. Okay, and this needs to be scored at 5/8 of an inch, so that's a 1/2 inch and then another 5/8, 1 1/4, 1 7/8, and 2 1/2. Okay, and then on the other side I need to score that at 5/8 and do the same on the opposite side. Okay, so lots of 5/8 involved. So you will end up with a piece that looks like that. You've got 5/8, and then you've got a little bit extra at the end. So we want to burnish all these score lines. And that one, and finally that one. All right, bring in my snips, and I'm going to cut straight up those score lines to that first horizontal score line there. Okay, do that on both sides. All right, now we've got our skinny side at that end, and I'm just taking a little chop off there. Okay, so they now look like that. To take down some of the bulk so that it fits in a bit more neatly, I'm going to take a little wedge off the one closest to the tab. I'm going to leave that one alone, and then I'll do that one as well. Okay. You could chop down all four, but by leaving these ones square, it actually makes it a little bit easier to make sure that your little box is all nice and square and true as well when you fold it up. Right, let's get rid of all of that. So that's that bit done. We'll just make this up, and then we can get on with the rest of it. So a little bit of glue on that tab there. Fold that over, and then fold that one over, and it should line up nice and neatly. Where did I put my bond folder? Give it a good press. And I like to fold it the other way as well, and give that another good press. Right, so we've got our, I've got a tiny little overhang there. I'm going to chop that off. Okay, so I've got my join here, and I've got my two little chopped tabs. So my join's at the back there. Just fold these two over, and then that back one forward, and this is how having it square actually makes it easier to make sure you've got that nice and true. Okay, that's that one. Same again, so the two chopped side ones over each other, and then just making sure which way around I am now. Yeah, so that's the back at the back. Okay, back forward, a little bit of glue on there, and it's just so that we've got a nice rounded edge on the top there. I need to die cut my third H for this box. Okay, so as I say, this is self-adhesive. Let me bring in my mini. I'm going to pop that in at a bit of an angle so it takes less stress. Oh, I don't want to do it like that though. I want it to come off. Come on, behave yourself. There we go. Right. This is supposed to be the easy bit. That went flying in the corner. Right. There we go. So already the backing wants to come off. If you were doing this ahead of time and you weren't just going to be using it straight away, I would try really hard to keep the H in the die like that with the backing on it. Okay, and whoops, little avalanche in the corner there, and then take it out of the die with the backing still attached. Okay, but as I'm about to use it anyway, I'm just going to take the backing straight off again. All right, now, oops, I've just dropped it. Bear with me a moment while I find it again. Okay. Found it, and thankfully it hasn't got anything horrible sticking to the back of it. Right, so tweezers. Point to note, this H, the crossbar is not exactly halfway. So it's, if I did it that way, it's slightly off. Okay, so at this point it doesn't really matter, but you need to bear that in mind when you are adding your H's into your base of your box, because you want to make sure that they're all the right way up, or it'll look a little bit silly. Okay, that's that done. I already have two set aside there. So if you're making along with this video, just stick it on pause until you've done your other two boxes. All right, so we're now ready to make the base. We've already done our scoring, so I can just burnish that. Like so. Back in with the snips and just straight up that score line and take a little wedge off either side. Alright, and then do the same on all four corners. Now I have an extra little step I want to do on these tabs, and that is, those tabs are 3/4 of an inch long. I have glue everywhere. So if I did that and then put that little box in there, you can see that tab coming out. I don't know if you can actually see that there, but I can. So if I glued it just like that, that little tab would poke out. So I want to just chop a little bit of that off. Just eyeball it. Okay. And that way, when that folds around like that, and I glue that, and then that little box that we just made goes in, you won't see that tab sticking out. Why did that just fall off? Obviously didn't press that hard enough. Okay. Better that it happens now than later. Alright, so I've done those two. I'm just going to do exactly the same this side as well. So chop little wedges out of there and a little bit off the length of that tab. Right, there we go. That's how it looks now. I'm going to add glue to all 4 of those tabs. You can do 2 at a time if you like. Oh, I forgot to chop that one. Oh, nearly. Come on, glue. There we are. So fold that around, line that edge up nice and neatly, and give it a press and hold for a moment till it sticks. Same this side. Nice and neat edge, hold, and then glue on these 2. And the reason I'm doing them both at the same time is just because it's easier than if you do one like that and then you have to try and do that one. And especially as we've made those tabs a little bit shorter. Okay, so line that up, hold. Last one. Okay. So we have our tray ready. We have our little boxes with the H's, and we also have these pieces of designer series paper to go in the base. So these are 1 5/8 by 1 3/8. Okay, so first things first, I want to put a box with an H on. Just pop that on there, and whichever way round you've got this is now the way that they all need to go. So just double check. Yep, that's fine. Then I've got a little piece of designer series paper. Can glue that down so that is just in line there. And I'm just going to put these in place just to make sure everything fits and my sweeties fit in before I glue everything, just to make sure I've got everything right. That needs to go over a little bit, and hopefully this one will still fit in. Yeah, okay, so I can move that out of the way just a little, add glue on here. Then get this back out. Come on. Pop that on. And unglue that one in. Just right to the end there. And our final little box. Again, I'll just pop my sweeties either side just to make sure that they fit. It's a nice neat fit. Have I got that H the right way around? I think I've put that one the wrong way out. Oh no. I've not pressed too hard yet. That's right, I think. Okay, so plenty of glue on there. It's all in place now. You could, to stop these moving around, you could put a little glue dot on them so that it sits perfectly like that. Okay. I'm not gonna. I don't want to make it difficult for anyone to get chocolate out of a box. Right, so now we can do the lid. Now, I've already scored this, but I will bring my trimmer back out so I can show you again. So this piece, Night of Navy card, is 7 1/16 of an inch. Okay, so we have 7 inches, and then the next little bit there, that's where we're at, by 2 13/16. Okay, so that's 2 1/4, and then that extra little bit there. Okay, and then I have scored this at 1/2 inch on all 4 sides. Okay, so just line up that edge at 1/2 inch and score. Did that on all 4 sides. So again, we want to burnish, and I apologise for using 1/16 of an inch, but it just gives a really tight fitting lid. Okay, so as we did with the base, just chop those little squares on the end and turn them into little flower pots, as we like to see in our classes. So straight up, and then just a little wedge either side of that square. Okay. But we don't need to chop those down any further because they're tiny as it is. Okay, lots of little bits again. Tidy that up a little. Now, to make sure that this fits, you will need to build your lid around your base. Okay, so bend that tab in and add a little bit of glue just as normal. And then I'm going to do both of these at the same time. Okay. Get your base where it should be, fold that up, and then fold your side up. Okay, so again, just give it a moment to take hold. Okay, and then do exactly the same on the other side. I've got a little bit of fluffy bit there that I've not cut properly. Take that out. Right, a little bit of glue on your tab. Both sides. Then fold them up so that they're next to the base, and then just press that down. Okay, so I've still got a little bit of fluff on that corner, but that's okay. I can just trim that off like that. All right, so now when I take that off and then put it back on again, it is a perfect fit. It's not too big and it's not too small. So it just needs a little bit of decoration. I have a piece of Very Vanilla card ready to stamp. Where's the lid of my glue? Here it is. Pop that away for now. For good, I think. And I just put that die on there so that I knew what that piece was for. Night of Navy ink, and this Merry Christmas is from the Very Cute stamp set. Beautiful. And this die is from Stylish Shapes. So I'm just going to line that up. It's kind of difficult to line this up, I think, because of the font. But if it's difficult to line up, it's difficult to know if it's wonky or not, or if it's meant to be wonky. Right, die cutting again. And I have to find the bits that fell all over the place earlier. There it is. Again, at a little bit of an angle. Not putting them back where they were because it just clattered again. Right, so we've got that bit there. I have a piece of Berry Vanilla that is 5 7/8 by 1 3/4, and a piece of that DSP that is 5 5/8 by 1 1/2. Simply glue this and layer it up. Same kind of margin all the way around. Got a little bit of wiggle time. Try and get it straightish. There we go. And then this is going to go on top of the box lid. Okay. And there's just a tiny margin around on that. And then I've used this gorgeous glittered ribbon, just a tiny bit. Like that. And I actually used tin tape. Find it. And just put a little bit of that tin tape on here. Take the backing off. Now I did it so my ribbon has been on the spool, so it naturally goes that way, and I glued it with the curl going the opposite way, just so that it gives a little bit more dimension on that. Personal choice, that is all. Add some dimensionals, and I'm purposefully doing them part on the ribbon and part off, because it helps keep the ribbon down as well. And the dimensionals stick better straight onto the card, to be honest. And then pop that on like that. Final bit of bling is to add some of these gorgeous gold sequins from the Pastel Adhesive Sequins, and they come with two sizes. We've got a big one, I'll put another big one on down here. Really should be using my tweezers or something instead of my nails. And then I've got a little one just to add in, if I can. Pop that on there. So we have lots of lovely gold in the ribbon, in the paper, and our little sequins, and then of course on the inside too. I do hope you've enjoyed this tutorial. If you have, please give me a thumbs up. If you're new to my channel, please click on that subscribe button, and if you click on the bell, you'll get a notification the next time I upload a tutorial. Until then, please do take care. Bye.